Defending a person in federal court is very different from defending someone in a state court system. First and foremost, the feds are going to be extremely aggressive. If you think the state's aggressive, you haven't seen anything. Most of the time, the feds will sit on prosecution for years until they have everything perfectly lined up. They're not going to move on a man until they know they got him. In those particular situations, it's very important to hire an attorney quickly, get down to the United States Attorney's Office and begin to get in there to see if there could be a way to negotiate for immunity, downward departure, or some other way to avoid a big prison sentence. One of the big factors that separates from the state and the federal level is that in the 80s, Congress became nervous with the discretion federal judges had. It was all over the board. Some guy was getting life and another guy was getting a slap on the hand depending on what type of narcotics they were dealing. So they created the federal guidelines rules, which basically gives recommendations to the court, which the court then is bound to follow for minimums, maximums. So it's a point system. When you get involved in a federal case, you may find yourself in a situation where your fate's already decided. So it's key to get in there early, and begin the process of negotiation with the United States Attorney and trading information. It's not one of these things where you need to wait around, you get arrested, and then you wait till you go to court. By the time you do that, the government's done making deals and you're going to be the odd man out. In addition to that, the federal government is very, very strict on what they do in federal prison, and so if you get 20 years, you're doing 20 years. Anytime you deal with a crime category that crosses state lines, you're going to enter into a federal category. Anytime you deal with the United States Postal Service, anytime you deal with banking transactions, anytime you deal with communication transactions that are crossing those dividing lines between the states. Once that happens, you're going to get the feds in that process. In addition, IRS, anything that's going to be crimes that are international taking place. Once those happen, the jurisdiction will fall into the federal government and you're going to go into one of the districts here in Texas, the Northern District, the Eastern District. You're going to either be out of Dallas or Sherman. In these particular instances, it's important to be aware of what you're facing, and especially if you're talking to federal agents without having an attorney present. I have a lot of people come to me after the fact, say, hey Richard, I need your help. I already went with my interview with the United States Attorney. Sometimes it's too late. That's why you got to get on the phone immediately, find yourself an attorney who handles the situation. And here at this office, we've been practicing federal defense since 2002, both in the Northern and the Eastern District. If you run yourself into this situation, get lawyers who know how to handle this defense.